All right, football fans, the orange and green is all over your screen. Welcome to the Coach Alex Wood Show, your best one-stop shop for all things Florida A&M football. I'm your host, Elton Gumble. It had been 4 seasons since FAMU started off the schedule with a season-opening victory. Rattlers changed that in Week 1 with a blowout victory against Texas Southern. Week 2 saw FAMU venture into the vaunted Southeastern Conference, and the Rattlers were unfortunately on the wrong side of an SEC final score. We'll tackle what went wrong and what went right, but first, let's start off with the Rattler Recap. A simple bus ride to Little Rock, Arkansas meant FAMU had a Thursday night matchup with the Arkansas Razorbacks, and you know what? FAMU rocked those all-white Nike jerseys. Coach Wood's defense could be seen flying all over the field in the first half, forced Arkansas to punt on their first drive, and here's how drive number 2 ended for the Razorbacks. An interception by Terry Jefferson to stop the SEC threat. Unfortunately, the FAMU offense, it totaled more than 400 yards in the opener against Texas Southern, struggled to move it against the SEC front. Just a 7-0 game at the end of the first quarter, so the defense was definitely getting the job done. They stayed on the field a lot in the second quarter, and Arkansas put a pair of touchdowns on the board for a 21-0 lead at halftime. Rattlers did check onto the scoreboard there, refusing to be shut out. That's Vincent Jeffries connecting with preseason All-MEAC receiver Brandon Norwood from 7 yards out. That actually capped off a 15-play drive, 76-yard drive for FAMU. As you look at the final score, 49-7, Arkansas handing FAMU the first loss of the year. As you take a look at the final stats, Arkansas hogged several of the categories, 26 first downs by the Razorbacks, 9 for FAMU. Rattlers get 175 yards of total offense in this one, giving up 415. Balanced numbers, though, for the Rattlers, 95 through the air, 80 on the ground. Penalties there for FAMU, 7 for 55, where the Hogs were just called for 2 penalties all game long. Tied in the turnover battle, Rattlers' lone interception, Arkansas the lone fumble recovery. That one actually returned for a touchdown. Now, since we're talking about penalties, we cannot overlook the Nike-designed white-on-white uniforms FAMU wore for the SEC officials, who actually deemed it worthy of a penalty, citing an NCAA rule regarding not enough contrast between the color of the jersey and the color of the numbers on the jersey. The refs penalized FAMU 1 timeout per quarter. That meant 4 of FAMU's 6 timeouts were stripped. As a result of that, it should be noted, these uniforms were worn last year against Miami without penalty, but not this time around. Okay, folks, this is a coach's show, so you know we have the head rattler on the way to talk about FAMU football. That's when we come back, right here on the Coach Alex Wood Show.
Pick FAMU because of the school spirit.
Because it's a family.
Strike with us.
Strike with us. Strike with us. Strike with us.
I chose FAMU. I chose FAMU because of our rich culture.
The only reason why you should choose FAMU is the #1 HBCU in the nation.
Strike with us.
I chose FAMU. I love FAMU. You should.
Strike with us.
Buy any vehicle from Kia of Tallahassee and you'll be cruising in more ways than one.
Right now, you can drive home in a new Soul or Forte for just $79 a month. But home's not the only place you'll be cruising to.
When you purchase a new or used vehicle from Kia of Tallahassee, we'll send you on a 3-night, 4-day cruise for 2 to the Bahamas.
Purchase any new or used vehicle from Kia of Tallahassee and you'll be cruising.
Cruise in this week to Kia of Tallahassee, where we're driven by service.
I picked up the saxophone when I was 11 years old, and after that, I never looked back. I've had the opportunity to make music with some of the greats, and even perform for the legendary B.B. King. Right now, I'm composing the soundtrack for the music of my life. And of all the stages that I've ever performed on, this one, on the Hill, hits closest to home. I'm prepared to perform in any area of my professional career because FAMU taught me.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Coach Alex Wood Show. I'm your host, Elton Gumble. He is the head Rattler, none other than head coach Alex Wood. Coach, good to see you.
Good to see you.
This is a bye week, so I imagine you're looking forward to the rest and relaxation or the recovery of that from that road trip to Little Rock, Arkansas against Arkansas. How much different is the mindset this week after the big game compared to after the season opener, the victory over Texas Southern?
Well, victory is always sweet, but you got to get over it as fast. And we hated that we weren't able to achieve the desired outcome of a win Thursday evening, but we got to get over that too. We got to press on, and so we got back. Friday, gave them Friday. Some time to recover. We're on the bus Friday for the most part.
Yeah,
and then Saturday, to recover, and then Sunday today, we get a chance to go in and do some more, recovery from a medical standpoint, and then we'll practice on Monday. But the mindset, I think, still will be good. I think we went and represented ourselves, relatively well. Again, we didn't get the desired outcome, but we played hard. We played for 60 minutes. Would have liked to have been more explosive on offense. Had some things happen in the kicking game that we got to get corrected, but all in all, we'll be okay.
Now, let's talk about facing Arkansas on such short notice. I mean, you had the big season opener, then you turn around and have a Thursday night game, so you have a short week plus a road trip to Arkansas.
Yeah, and just to etch out and really describe that short week, we played on Saturday by rule, and not if by rule, I'd give them Sunday off anyway. Okay. I mean, and then you practice Monday, Tuesday. We're on a bus at 7 a.m. Wednesday morning all day. All right, played a game, and that was it. So we had 2 days of actual preparation for a team that we hadn't seen, and they had not played a game. And they had a chance to see us. So that made it interesting, to say the least. But I thought our kids dealt with that really well.
It didn't seem like FAMU or your players kind of backed away from the challenge at all. So Arkansas had size, they had some depth, but how do you think they measured up against what the Razorbacks put out there? Yeah,
no, absolutely. Again, our offensive line pass pro those guys as good as we've pass pro'd anybody in the MEAC. The only sacks that they got was off of a missed assignment, and then they got one off of what we call a coverage sack, where they did a good job in their coverage scheme of covering our route, and our quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball. Other than that, he was pretty clean. Got hurried a little bit, and he made some good decisions on the scrambles, but matched up well. Defensive line, our front seven versus their front. I thought we gave those guys, all they wanted. Got some tackles for a loss. Obviously they also creased us a few times, but I think that was the fact that they showed us some looks that we hadn't really fit on defense, coached the fit of it, and so all in all, though, I think we fared up fairly well and did a good job on special teams. We got to clean up some things from our kickoff return, but other than that, we did a good job special teams. Our kickoff coverage team, they went down and hit their butt when we kicked that ball off, and that was exciting.
Let's talk about the defense. 2 sacks in the game, held Arkansas to just 7 points in the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, actually forced them into a punt or an interception on 4 of the first drives for Arkansas. Talk about their play.
No, that's absolutely right. Some 3 and outs, by our defense. We did not. We had 1 turnover in the whole ball game offensively. Remember, the week before we had 0 turnovers. All right. This week against Arkansas, we had 1, and then we got 1. So it was the same thing as Texas Southern. We had no turnovers, but got 1 against Texas Southern. Against Arkansas, it was 1-1. We gave 1 up and got 1 back. So I think those kinds of things you take into account as well, because that's part of the game, and it's a crucial part of the game, not turning the ball over and then getting turnovers.
Tell me a little bit about Terry Jefferson. He was one of the ones that got the turnover, the big interception there early on.
Terry got an interception and also got some tackles for a loss, off of edge pressure, and he's playing well for 2 games, and looking forward to even better play as we go.
All right, Coach, stick around. We got to continue this conversation because we haven't even begun to talk about the offense and some of the things that we saw out of your quarterback, especially that decision there, game time decision, as well as the running back. So we're going to have more with Coach after this quick timeout here on the Coach Alex Wood Show.
Within our walls, lives are being changed. Healing is happening, making people stronger. Because we know a healthy life is a happy life, and your health means everything to us. You are why we're blending innovative technology with compassion and going beyond our walls to rethink healthcare. We are Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, your hospital for life.
Buy any vehicle from Kia Tallahassee and you'll be cruising in more ways than one.
Right now, you can drive home in a new Soul or Forte for just $79 a month. But home's not the only place you'll be cruising to.
When you purchase a new or used vehicle from Kia Tallahassee, we'll send you on a 3-night, 4-day cruise for 2 to the Bahamas.
Purchase any new or used vehicle from Kia of Tallahassee and you'll be cruising.
Cruise in this week to Kia of Tallahassee, where we're driven by service.
We're back on the Coach Alex Wood Show, and Coach, we got to pick up right where we left off.
Sure.
We were talking about defense. Now let's switch over to the offensive side of the ball. One of the biggest differences from week 1 to week 2 is the starting quarterback. Not necessarily the play of the starting quarterback, but who was playing as starting quarterback. Vince Jeffries in instead of Ryan Stanley. A late decision to make Jeffries the starter. How tough was that decision for you to make?
Well, not tough. I mean, because Ryan's got turf toe. I mean, and we prepared him all the way up, and he went through pregame warm-up, and then we asked him. I says, "Can you go?" And he says he could go, but it would be difficult if he had to run or escape and those kinds of things. And we didn't want to put a guy out there that's 50%, and we got a healthy guy, that can also move the team. So we decided to go with Vince. A good opportunity for him, and that's kind of it.
You got to tell me Vince's reaction when game time you're saying, "Hey, you're the guy."
Yeah, he kind of had an idea about it. It was a complete total, surprise, because he knew that Ryan was nursing the turf toe, and so it wasn't a complete surprise.
Now, you saw some things that you did like out of that offense, especially with him under center. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, he was able to obviously, push the ball down the field. It was later in the game, and that's really more on us than him. But we threw some balls down the field later on in the game, which was good. He was able to run some of the zone read stuff, that we like to do, offensively. And then, obviously scrambled, made some yards scrambling, and then it got us in the end zone, got us down for a score, off of, obviously a bad snap, and then what looked like a fake punt, but it's actually just a good reaction by a punter. Good decision to run and go get a first down, and then Vince took the offense down and scored a touchdown.
Let's talk about your ground game. For the second straight week, a heavy dose of the ground attack was Ricky Henryless, newcomer to the scene. What have you seen out of him for the first 2 games? He had 11 carries against Arkansas.
Well, another thing offensively that was a highlight, they gave us a somewhat of a dubious spot on the 1-yard line, -1 coming out. We thought it should have been on the 3, and they put it on the 1. But we were able to knock the ball out and get 2 first downs off of our own 1, and then continue a drive. And Henryless was an integral part of that. Obviously we handed the ball to him twice. He was able to bounce one, and really the thing that I just looked at on tape not long ago was he had 2 defenders sitting outside, and he outran both of them to the corner. So that's an encouraging thing to see, is a guy who's got outruns defenders who already have leverage on you. Right. So that was good to see, and so we're excited about him.
Let's also talk about Devon Bowers. You can't talk about the FAMU ground attack without Devon Bowers. Limited carries against Arkansas. He's had some breakout games in previous seasons against FBS opponents, but he's also had a few nagging injuries or trouble finishing the season with some injuries. How much did that play a factor in his limited touches against Arkansas?
Well, he's also got turf toe. He got turf toe. He was in a boot all week. Him and Ryan both were in boots all week during practice, and Devon's was not quite as severe, but it was nagging, and he decided he wanted to give it a shot and play, so we did, and we played him some limited reps. Now, I'd hate to go through the second game of the season where you're making your big improvements without playing your starters, and that's the concern with Ryan's situation. I know we're talking about Devon, but anytime players have to sit out, it takes its toll. But Devon decided to play and got some carries and did a good job for us.
Let's talk about Brandon Norwood. He was able to get in the end zone, a 7-yard touchdown pass there in the end. Talk about your preseason All-MEAC receiver.
He did a good job on that particular play. It's our Delta scheme, our red zone scheme, and obviously Vince did a good job of getting him the football. And then also, Brandon had some big blocks. He had some big blocks on the perimeter for us. He came in and cracked a linebacker had a great block there, and then was able to transition, get in and out of some cuts, and create some cushion at the corner position. So he did a good job for us, and we're looking for even more out of him as we go forward.
One more question before we take another timeout. They say there's a lesson learned in every loss. What is probably the biggest lesson you're able to, or you think the team learned from this loss?
Well, we just have to react to faster in a situation like that to get into all of our what I call our good stuff. I mean, we got to get to the good stuff faster in a situation, because we didn't know what to anticipate. Then we found out, we can pass block these guys. Especially offensively, we should have taken more shots down the field and run a more conventional passing game. Once we figured out, that we weren't going to have any issues pass protecting against Arkansas.
Well, Coach, don't go anywhere. When we come back after the break, we're going to pop in the game film and let Coach break down all the sights and sounds from the road trip to Arkansas. You're watching the Coach Alex Wood Show.
I've always loved science as a kid. At the age of 14, I developed an innovative stitching technique. I decided to hone my skills at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, majoring in chemistry. FAMU's learning environment has pushed me forward in making my dream of becoming a trauma surgeon a reality. Oh, did I tell you my twin brother is here too? FAMU has pushed me forward in my college career path of becoming an environmental attorney. So what are you waiting on? Let FAMU push you forward.
Within our walls, lives are being changed. Healing is happening, making people stronger. Because we know a healthy life is a happy life, and your health means everything to us. You are why we're blending innovative technology with compassion and going beyond our walls to rethink healthcare. We are Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, your hospital for life.
Hello, this is Coach Alex Wood. Come take a ride with the Rattlers.
Good luck, man.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, all right? Thank you very much. All right? Good morning. Good morning.
Good to get it out.
I don't really know mine, really. I don't really know mine.
And coach was like, I guarantee we're going to be Akron. We lost. Akron had JC.
I see to the return. How many
big things that won when you're there.
I still want to get it.
Here's a look at the highlights from the game brought to you by the Tampa Classic, Saturday, September 16th in Raymond James Stadium. David Richardson with great lateral pursuit for a short gain on the play. Jakaris Wilson with a big hit and a tackle for loss. Vincent Jeffrey rolls out on a bootleg and completes a pass to Desmond Norwood. Elijah Richardson here with great pursuit and an open field tackle. Jakaris Wilson again with a crash down and tackle. Rashid Kenyon has the pressure and Terry Jefferson collects the interception. Good defensive pursuit and tackle by Rashid Kenyon. Emilio Gibbs here with good lateral pursuit for a tackle with a short gain. Ricky Henrillis with a tough run out of the end zone. Vincent Jeffrey gets a first down on the quarterback sneak behind a surge from the FAMU offensive line. Derek Mayweather shoots the gap to down the Arkansas running back for a loss. Ricky Henrillis here again with another tough east-west run out of the end zone. Terry Jefferson comes up for a big hit at the line with run support. Terry Jefferson again with a big hit and tackle for loss. Here's Ricky Henrillis with another tough run up the middle. David Richardson with a big sack on Arkansas quarterback Austin Allen. Orlando McKinley protecting the boundary with a pass breakup. Vincent Jeffries connects with All-MEAC receiver Brandon Norwood. Running back Azende Ray bounces outside for a tough gain. Here, Vincent Jeffries completes a pass to Kareem Smith. Jeffries keeps it himself outside for a short gain. A host of Rattler defenders stuff a run by the Razorbacks. Vincent Jeffries connects with Chavis Murphy on the outside. FAMU punter Chris Fadul, with one of the best plays of the game, takes a bouncing snap and gains a critical first down. Tevin Spell splits defenders with a tough run up the middle. Vincent Jeffries hits Brandon Norwood on the boundary. Jeffries breaks loose and gets a first down. And here he finds Brandon Norwood in the back of the end zone for FAMU's touchdown. Ali with the extra point. Jules Donerville comes off the edge to sack the quarterback. And that concludes the highlights. We'll be back to the Alex Wood Show right after this.
Buy any vehicle from Kia Tallahassee and you'll be cruising in more ways than one.
Right now, you can drive home in a new Soul or Forte for just $79 a month. But home's not the only place you'll be cruising to.
When you purchase a new or used vehicle from Kia Tallahassee, we'll send you on a 3-night, 4-day cruise for 2 to the Bahamas.
Purchase any new or used vehicle from Kia of Tallahassee and you'll be cruising.
Cruise in this week to Kia of Tallahassee, where we're driven by service.
Pick FAMU because of the school spirit.
Because it's a family.
Strike with us.
Strike with us.
Strike with us. Strike with us. chose FAMU. I chose FAMU because of our rich culture.
The only reason why you should choose FAMU is the #1 HBCU in the nation.
Strike with us! I chose FAMU. I love FAMU. You should
Strike with us!
Within our walls, lives are being changed. Healing is happening, making people stronger. Because we know a healthy life is a happy life, and your health means everything to us. You are why we're blending innovative technology with compassion and going beyond our walls to rethink healthcare. We are Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, your hospital for life.
Welcome back to the Coach Alex Wood Show. I'm your host, Elton Gumble. Now, the bye week for FAMU gives the Orange and Green and everyone else in Rattler Nation more time to focus on that visit down to Raymond James Stadium and the Tampa Classic scheduled for Saturday, September 16th. For FAMU, it puts them into an NFL stadium, same place the Tampa Bay Bucks play. It's also a matchup that dates back to 1944, and in 54 showdowns between the two squads, FAMU has won 24 times. Now, tickets are still on sale for what is sure to fall in line with the past classics we've seen between FAM and TSU. Kickoff is again 6 o'clock Saturday, September 16th. For more information on tickets, visit FAMUathletics.com. All right, it's time now for the 2-minute warning. A quick glance at the football kickoffs this weekend involving teams from the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Howard had the big upset of UNLV last week. That immediately makes them a front runner. Bison traveled to Kent State this week for a 3:30 kickoff. Savannah State heads to Appalachian State for a 2 o'clock kickoff. Delaware State lost their opener against Delaware and played Friday night at Hampton for the first real MEAC versus MEAC matchup of the year. Morgan State hosts Albany looking for win number 1. SC State lost to Southern last week in the MEAC SWAC Challenge, and this week they host Charleston Southern for a 6 o'clock kickoff. Norfolk State lost last week but faced William & Mary this week. North Carolina A&T ran up the score against Gardner-Webb last week, 45-3. This week they host Mars Hill College at 6. North Carolina Central shut out by Duke last week, hosting Shaw at 6 o'clock this Saturday. And then Bethune-Cookman scored 13 against the Miami Hurricanes last week. They traveled to southeastern Louisiana Saturday night at 8 o'clock. All right, that'll do it for your look at week 3 of the college football season. FAMU on a bye week, and you can count on us to give you all the goods this time next week about the Tampa Classic right here on the Coach Alex Wood Show. As always, for more information on the Orange and Green, visit FAMUathletics.com. For FAMU Athletics Director Milton Overton Jr., Vaughn Wilson, everyone else involved with Rattler Production, I'm Elton Gumble. Thank you for watching, and go Rattler.